Listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to share with you could be the difference between struggling through your golden years and absolutely thriving in them. I'm serious. Imagine this. You wake up, and for the first time in years, you don't feel that stiffness in your joints. You swing your legs out of bed without that usual grunt of pain. You actually have the energy to make yourself a real breakfast instead of just coffee and whatever's easy. You look at your grandkids' photos and think, you know what, I could keep up with them this weekend. What would that mean for you? Really think about it. What would you do differently if your body actually cooperated with you again? Now, before you roll your eyes and think I'm about to sell you some miracle cure or some ridiculously expensive therapy, stop right there. I'm not. Today, we're talking about something that's been hiding in plain sight, something doctors and researchers have known about for decades, but somehow we've all missed the memo on just how powerful it really is. This isn't magic. It's not some fancy new invention. It's science, real, solid, proven science. And the best part, it's safe, it's simple, and honestly, it might already be sitting in your medicine cabinet right now. But let me back up for a second, because I know exactly where you're coming from. You've felt it, haven't you? That slow, creeping change that happens year after year. Maybe it started in your 50s, or maybe it didn't really hit until your 60s or 70s. Either way, you know what I'm talking about. Your energy isn't what it used to be. You used to bounce out of bed ready to take on the day. And now you need a good 20 minutes just to feel human. Your joints ache in ways they never did before: knees, hips, shoulders, even your hands. Simple things like opening a jar or climbing stairs become little battles you have to psych yourself up for. And the worst part, you try to do something about it. You try to exercise, maybe take a walk around the neighborhood, but your body just doesn't respond like it should. You're doing the work, but you're not seeing the results. It feels like you're fighting against yourself. This isn't just physical either. Let's be honest about that. When your body starts letting you down, it chips away at something deeper. Your confidence takes a hit. You start turning down invitations because you're not sure you'll have the energy. You stop making plans because you can't predict how you'll feel. Your independence, that precious sense of being able to take care of yourself, to live life on your own terms, starts slipping through your fingers. And that hurts. That really, truly hurts. But here's what most people don't realize. These aren't just normal parts of aging that you have to accept. These are actually symptoms of something specific happening inside your body. You see, as we get older, inflammation starts rising. It's like a slow fire burning throughout your system, making everything harder, everything more painful. Your metabolism, which used to hum along just fine, slows to a crawl. You eat the same foods you always did, but now they seem to stick to you differently. And your muscles, they're disappearing faster than you think. It's called sarcopenia, and it's real. Every decade after 30, you naturally lose muscle mass, but after 60, it accelerates. And muscle isn't just about looking strong, it's about being strong. It's about balance, stability, independence, and even how well your body manages blood sugar and inflammation. These aren't just annoyances. These aren't just getting older. These are life-altering challenges that affect every single thing you do every single day. They determine whether you can travel, whether you can play with your grandchildren, whether you can live in your own home or need assistance. They shape your entire quality of life. But here's the good news, and this is where everything changes. What if I told you that the answer to all of this, the fatigue, the muscle loss, the inflammation, the feeling like your body's working against you, has been sitting right under our noses this entire time? Now, I need you to keep an open mind here, because when I tell you what it is, your first reaction might be to dismiss it. You might think, that's not for someone like me. But stay with me, because what I'm about to share could genuinely change everything. The solution is creatine. Yes, creatine. That supplement you've probably heard about in connection with young gym goers and bodybuilders, the stuff you thought was just for people trying to get huge muscles and lift massive weights. But here's what nobody's been telling you. Creatine isn't just for athletes. In fact, some of the most groundbreaking research happening right now shows that creatine might be one of the most powerful tools we have for healthy aging. And it's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. I know what you're thinking. Isn't that stuff dangerous? Isn't it just for young people trying to bulk up? And honestly, I don't blame you for thinking that. The marketing around creatine has completely missed the bigger picture. But it's time we set the record straight, because this isn't about vanity or extreme fitness. This is about giving your body what it desperately needs to function the way it should. Let me explain what's actually happening inside your body and why this matters so much for you right now. Your cells run on energy. Every single thing your body does, from your heart beating to your muscles moving to your brain thinking, requires energy. And that energy comes from something called ATP. Think of ATP as the gasoline your body runs on. When you have plenty of ATP, everything works smoothly. When you run low, everything starts to sputter and struggle. Here's the problem. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at producing and using ATP. It's like your internal engine isn't running as clean as it used to. You're working with less fuel, which means less energy, weaker muscles, slower recovery from any kind of physical activity, and that constant feeling of fatigue that you just can't shake. This is where creatine comes in, and this is where it gets really exciting. Creatine is actually a compound your body already makes naturally. It's in your muscles right now. Your liver, kidneys, and pancreas produce it every single day. It's not some foreign substance or chemical concoction. It's something your body knows and uses. What creatine does is help your body produce more ATP and produce it faster. It's like adding a turbocharger to your cellular engine. When you supplement with creatine, you're giving your muscles the raw material they need to generate more of that precious energy. More energy means your muscles can work harder, last longer, and recover faster. And here's the beautiful part. This isn't theoretical. This is measurable, observable, scientifically proven. When you take creatine consistently, your muscles literally become stronger, not overnight and not through any magic trick, but through a real biological process. Your muscle cells can work more effectively. They can repair themselves better. They can resist the natural breakdown that happens with aging. But it goes way beyond just muscle strength. And this is what most people completely miss. Creatine has been shown to reduce inflammation throughout the body. Remember that slow burning fire I mentioned earlier? Creatine helps put it out. Study after study has demonstrated that creatine supplementation can lower inflammatory markers in the body, which means less pain, less joint stiffness, and less of that whole body achiness that makes you feel older than you are. It also supports your metabolism. When you have more muscle mass and creatine helps you build and maintain that muscle, your body burns more calories even at rest. Your blood sugar regulation improves. Your bone density can actually increase because stronger muscles put healthy stress on your bones, telling them to stay strong too. And here's something that might surprise you. Emerging research is showing that creatine may even support brain function and cognitive health. Your brain uses massive amounts of energy, and creatine helps provide that energy more efficiently. Some studies are exploring whether it might help with memory, mental clarity, and even mood regulation. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, because I know some of you are still skeptical. This is not about becoming a bodybuilder. This is not about bulking up or looking like you spend 6 hours a day in the gym. This is about giving your body a fundamental building block it needs to function optimally, especially as you age. Creatine doesn't force your body to do anything unnatural. It simply supports the processes your body's already trying to do. It's like watering a plant that's been slightly dehydrated. You're not changing what the plant is. You're just giving it what it needs to thrive. The dosage for older adults isn't the same as what young athletes take. We're talking about small, safe, research-backed amounts, typically just 3 to 5 grams a day, about a teaspoon. That's it. And safety. Creatine is one of the most extensively studied supplements in existence. Decades of research, thousands of studies, millions of people using it safely. When used appropriately, it has an exceptional safety profile. So the real question isn't whether creatine works. The science on that is crystal clear. The real question is what happens when you start giving your body this fuel it's been missing. Let's talk about the stories you've probably heard, the rumors, the warnings from well-meaning friends or things you've read online that made you think, maybe creatine isn't safe for me. Because here's the truth. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and it's keeping people just like you from experiencing something that could genuinely improve your quality of life. So let's clear the air right now and tackle these myths head on with actual facts. The first one you've probably heard is that creatine causes hair loss. Maybe you've seen this claim floating around the internet and it stopped you in your tracks. I get it. Nobody wants to risk losing their hair over a supplement. Here's where this myth actually came from. One single study years ago involving a small group of rugby players showed a temporary increase in a hormone that can be associated with hair loss. One study. And since then, countless other studies, we're talking dozens and dozens of well-designed research projects, have found absolutely no connection between creatine and hair thinning or hair loss. None. Think about it. If creatine really caused hair loss, we'd see millions of bald athletes and fitness enthusiasts everywhere. But we don't, because it simply doesn't happen. This myth has been thoroughly debunked by the scientific community, but it keeps circulating because fear spreads faster than facts. Now, let's talk about the kidney and liver concerns, because this one genuinely worries people, and I understand why. You might have heard that creatine damages your kidneys or puts stress on your liver. Here's what's actually happening. When you take creatine, your body produces something called creatinine, which is a natural byproduct. When doctors test your blood or urine, elevated creatinine levels can sometimes indicate kidney problems. So here's where the confusion happens. People take creatine, their creatinine levels go up, and alarm bells start ringing. But here's the critical detail everyone misses, that elevated creatinine from creatine supplementation is completely different from elevated creatinine caused by kidney damage. It's a false alarm. Study after study has examined kidney function in people taking creatine, and the consistent finding is this. In people with healthy kidneys, creatine does not cause damage, period. Your kidneys process creatine just fine because they're designed to handle it. Remember, your body already produces this compound naturally. Now, if you already have kidney disease or kidney issues, that's a different conversation. In that case, absolutely talk to your doctor before taking any supplement, including creatine. But for the vast majority of people with normal kidney function, this concern simply isn't backed by the evidence. The third myth you might have encountered is that creatine causes uncomfortable bloating and water retention. And honestly, this one has a grain of truth to it, but it's completely fixable. Some people do experience bloating when they first start taking creatine, and here's why. Creatine draws water into your muscle cells. That's actually part of how it works. Hydrated muscle cells function better and grow stronger. But if you're not drinking enough water overall, or if your electrolyte balance is off, that water retention can feel uncomfortable. The solution is beautifully simple. Stay well hydrated and make sure you're getting enough electrolytes. Take your creatine with a full glass of water and a pinch of salt, or mix it with an electrolyte drink. Problem solved. Most people find that any initial bloating disappears within a week or two as their body adjusts. Now that we've cleared up what's not true, let's talk about what is true, the actual evidence showing what creatine can do for people in your stage of life. A comprehensive review published in 2023 looked at adults over 60 who supplemented with creatine while doing basic resistance training, nothing extreme, just simple strength exercises a couple times a week. The results were remarkable. These participants gained lean muscle mass, lost body fat, and significantly increased their strength. We're talking about real, measurable improvements in just 12 weeks. But here's what really matters. This wasn't about aesthetics or looking a certain way. These improvements translated directly into real-life benefits: better balance, easier movement, more independence, the ability to carry groceries, play with grandchildren, get up from chairs without assistance. These are life-changing outcomes. And the benefits extend well beyond your muscles. Recent research from 2022 examined cognitive function in older adults taking just 5 grams of creatine daily. The findings showed noticeable improvements in memory recall and mental focus. Participants reported feeling sharper, being able to concentrate better, and having an easier time remembering names, appointments, and details. Think about what that means. Your brain, just like your muscles, runs on energy. When you give it more efficient fuel through creatine supplementation, it simply works better. In a world where cognitive decline is one of our biggest fears about aging, having a safe, simple tool that supports brain health is extraordinary. But there's even more. Studies are now showing that creatine supports bone density. When your muscles get stronger and you're more active, your bones respond by becoming stronger too. This is huge for preventing fractures and maintaining the structural integrity you need to stay mobile and independent. And here's something that might surprise you. Research is emerging that shows creatine may enhance immune function. As we age, our immune systems naturally become less robust, making us more vulnerable to illness. Creatine appears to support the energy needs of immune cells, helping them function more effectively. So we're not just talking about feeling a bit stronger or having slightly more energy. We're talking about comprehensive support for your entire body, muscles, brain, bones, and immune system, all from one simple, affordable, well-researched supplement. The question isn't whether the science supports creatine for older adults. It absolutely does, overwhelmingly. The question is whether you're ready to give your body what it's been asking for. So here we are. You've heard the science. You understand how it works. You know the myths aren't true. Now comes the most important part. What are you actually going to do with this information? Because knowledge without action doesn't change anything. You can know all the facts in the world, but if you don't take that first step, nothing in your life improves. And I don't want that for you. You deserve to feel better. You deserve to have more energy, more strength, more vitality in these precious years. So let's make this incredibly simple and practical. No confusion, no overthinking, just clear, straightforward guidance you can follow starting today. First, let's talk about how much creatine you should take. For most older adults looking to maintain muscle, support energy levels, and enjoy the cognitive and overall health benefits we've discussed, 5 to 7 grams daily is the sweet spot. That's about 1 level teaspoon. That's it. Simple, affordable, and effective. Now, if you're dealing with significant muscle loss, or if you're more physically active, maybe you're doing regular strength training, or you're on your feet a lot throughout the day, you might benefit from 10 to 15 grams daily. But honestly, most people do beautifully with that 5 to 7 gram range. Start there, see how you feel, and adjust if needed. There's no magic time of day to take it. I know you've probably seen conflicting advice online about taking it before workouts or after meals or first thing in the morning. Here's the truth that actually matters. Consistency beats timing every single time. Your body builds up creatine stores over time. It's not like caffeine where you feel an immediate effect. What matters is that you take it every single day so your muscles maintain those elevated creatine levels. Whether you mix it in your morning coffee, stir it into your afternoon smoothie, take it with lunch, or just mix it with water whenever it's convenient, just take it daily. Pick a time that works for your routine and stick with it. Here's a practical tip that'll help with absorption and prevent any potential bloating. Mix your creatine with a little salt or an electrolyte drink. This helps your muscles pull in and use the creatine more efficiently. I'm talking about just a pinch of salt in your water or mixing your creatine into a low sugar electrolyte beverage. This simple trick makes a real difference in how your body processes and uses the supplement. One more thing, creatine monohydrate is what you want, not the fancy, expensive versions with creative marketing, just plain creatine monohydrate. It's the most researched form, it's the most effective, and it's the most affordable. Don't let anyone sell you on overpriced alternatives. Simple works, and simple is what the science supports. Now, I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine it's 3 months from now. You've been taking creatine consistently, just that small daily habit, 1 teaspoon a day. What does your life look like? Maybe you're walking up those stairs without gripping the railing quite so tightly. Maybe you're keeping up with your grandkids at the park instead of watching from the bench. Maybe you're sleeping better because you actually used your body during the day and it feels good to move again. Maybe you're sharper in conversations, remembering details that used to slip away. Maybe you just feel more like yourself again, the capable, energetic, engaged person you remember being. That future is absolutely available to you. It's not guaranteed by anything except your willingness to take action and stay consistent, but it's there, waiting for you to reach for it. So here's what I want you to do right now. Not tomorrow, not next week when things settle down, right now. If you're watching this and you're thinking, yes, I'm ready to do this, I want you to let me know. Hit that like button to tell me you're committed to taking charge of your health. Drop a comment below and share your age and what you're hoping to achieve, whether it's more energy, less pain, better mobility, sharper thinking, or just feeling strong again. Let's build a community of people who refuse to accept that aging means giving up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do that right now, because this is just one piece of the puzzle. There are so many more science-backed strategies, practical tips, and empowering information that can help you age with strength, dignity, and vitality. I'm here to share all of it with you, but only if you stay connected. Here's what I believe with everything in me. Aging doesn't mean diminishing. It doesn't mean becoming less. It doesn't mean accepting weakness, fatigue, and limitation as your new normal. Aging means gaining wisdom. It means understanding your body better. It means being smart enough to give yourself the support you need instead of just toughing it out. With tools like creatine, backed by solid science and decades of research, we can stay strong, sharp, and active for years and years to come. You have so much life left to live, so many experiences to enjoy, so many people who need you at your best. Don't let outdated ideas about aging steal that from you. Let's age with strength. Let's age with clarity. Let's age with dignity and power and joy. I'll see you in the next video. Now go take that first step.